trained to sacrifice yourself. You have been told from the beginning that goodness means giving until nothing is left, that nobility means emptying your cup so others may drink, that the battlefield of life rewards the selfless soldier who takes the wound so another may live. But look around, has it rewarded you? Has this creed made you respected, feared, untouchable, or has it left you drained, invisible, and discarded like a broken shield on the ground? The world does not build monuments for those who bled quietly in silence. It buries them, then forgets them. This is the first cut of truth you must face. No one will protect you if you refuse to protect yourself. Niccolò Machiavelli warned against this illusion centuries ago. He understood what you have not yet admitted, that a man who places the well-being of others above his own position invites ruin. You think your loyalty, your sacrifice, your willingness to carry another's burden will grant you safety. But it does not. It only paints a target on your back. The weak hope gratitude will shield them. The strong know gratitude is the most unreliable ally on the battlefield. Men forget favors as soon as they are given, but they never forget strength. And you have chosen the role of the expendable pawn instead of the fortified commander. Why have you done this? Because you were conditioned. From family, from school, from the endless stream of sermons, songs, and shallow slogans telling you that the highest virtue is to put yourself last. You absorbed it like poisoned wine. You convinced yourself that if you carried others, one day they would carry you. That if you were endlessly forgiving, one day forgiveness would be returned. That if you loved enough, the world would love you back. This is the sweet illusion of the naive, and like all illusions, it shatters the moment. Reality presses its blade to your throat. Reality is colder. Reality is structured like war. Every alliance is temporary. Every ally is calculating their own gain. Every soldier in the camp will abandon you the moment supplies run low and your body becomes less useful than your rations. Do not mistake smiles for loyalty. Do not mistake words of appreciation for binding contracts. On the battlefield, survival belongs to those who defend their perimeter first. Discipline your troops. Secure your walls. Sharpen your weapons. Then, and only then, consider extending aid. The one who runs to rescue others before fortifying himself is the one who is slaughtered while his defenses lie open. This is not cruelty. This is strategy. Strategy does not ask what feels right. It asks what secures victory. You have been blind because you wanted to believe in a gentler order. You wanted to imagine that sacrifice creates a chain of reciprocity, that altruism is a currency the world respects. But the world is not a monastery. It is not a sanctuary. It is a battlefield where every glance hides calculation, where every alliance is a negotiation of power. And here lies your fatal flaw. You entered the war dressed as a saint, while your enemies marched as generals. You thought giving would win loyalty. They knew taking would win control. You surrendered your power before the first shot was fired. Machiavellian strategy dictates that your first duty is to yourself. If you collapse, you save no one. If your walls are breached, the city burns regardless of your intentions. To protect others while leaving yourself exposed is not virtue, it is incompetence. You cannot command if you are starving. You cannot inspire if you are broken. You cannot lead if you are enslaved. Protect yourself before protecting others. Because without your own fortress intact, every act of aid becomes hollow. The world does not respect martyrs. It respects survivors. Ask yourself, how many times have you drained your resources to fill another's cup? How many times have you bent your will to keep another comfortable, only to find that the moment you faltered, they were nowhere to be found? You convinced yourself that one day they would repay you. That day never came, and it never will, because people are not bound by memory of your sacrifice. They are bound by the pressure of your strength. When you give everything, you erase your leverage. You become the soldier stripped of armor, waiting for the mercy of arrows. And arrows have no mercy. The cost of your naivety has been your exhaustion. You are tired, not because life is cruel, but because you volunteered to be its casualty. You mistook compassion for strategy. Surrender for low, martyrdom for honor. This blindness has already cost you years of strength, years of potential dominion. Every time you said yes, when your instinct screamed no, you surrendered ground on the battlefield of your own life. And ground once surrendered is not easily reclaimed. You gave your enemies supply lines straight to your heart. And now you wonder why you feel besieged. You must understand the terrain of power. It is not shaped by emotion. It is shaped by control of resources, time, energy, money, willpower, reputation. You handed these over like tribute to kings who never intended to defend you. You exhausted your supply lines in foreign campaigns that were never yours to fight. And now you stand depleted, wondering why no one rushes to refill your stores. The answer is simple. Because you trained them to take without consequence. You taught them you would bleed on command, and they will command it again and again until you break. Niccolò Machiavelli once warned that the man who trusts appearances will fall faster than the man who trusts steel. Appearances told you loyalty would protect you. Steel would have told you to guard your position before extending your hand. You chose appearances, and now you pay the price. Do not look away. Do not console yourself. Face the harshness. The world does not pity fools. It consumes them. If you wish to escape, you must abandon the mask of the servant and assume the armor of the strategist. From this moment, you must treat your life as a campaign. Discipline every resource. Protect your flanks. Build walls around your time. Establish reconnaissance over those who approach you. What do they want? What do they gain? What do they risk? Do not grant entry without calculating the cost. Aid selectively, with precision, only when your fortress is strong enough to withstand the drain. This is not cruelty. This is command. A commander who squanders his troops on every plea for help does not return from war victorious. He returns with graves and excuses. And excuses do not win empires. The transformation you require is not emotional healing. It is tactical realignment. You do not need softer words or warmer hearts. You need sharper vision and colder execution. Begin by severing your dependence on gratitude. Gratitude is a fog that clouds your judgment. Replace it with calculation. Ask always, what does this move cost me? What does it gain me? What position does it strengthen? What defense does it weaken? If the exchange leaves you diminished, refuse it. If the alliance leaves you exposed, break it. If the request leaves you vulnerable, deny it. The battlefield does not reward kindness without power. It rewards discipline enforced by clarity. You must also abandon the belief that people see your intentions. They do not. They see your posture, your discipline, your boundaries. They test them, always. And if they find them soft, they press until you collapse. This is not malice. It is nature. In war, the undefended position is always attacked. You must harden your perimeter so thoroughly that even your allies hesitate to exploit it. Respect grows, not from your willingness to give, but from your refusal to be taken. Do not confuse this with isolation. A fortress does not stand alone. It forms alliances. But alliances must be forged from strength, not weakness. You must protect your command structure first, then extend power outward. When others see that your defenses are solid, that your troops are disciplined, that your supply lines are secure, they respect your aid because they know it comes from power, not desperation. Weak aid inspires contempt. Strong aid inspires loyalty. The difference lies in whether you protected yourself first. And this is Machiavelli's final warning, echoing across centuries. Protect yourself before protecting others. Not because you must abandon compassion, but because compassion without power is suicide. Your life is not a shrine for sacrifice. It is a fortress to be guarded, a campaign to be commanded, a kingdom to be secured. If you refuse this, you condemn yourself to remain a pawn, forever maneuvered, forever sacrificed, forever forgotten. If you accept it, you step into the role of strategist, feared and respected, capable of aid that does not destroy you. The choice is yours. Stay as you are, a bleeding soldier waiting for someone to notice, or rise, fortify, discipline, and command. This is not gentle counsel. It is survival. And survival belongs only to those who are willing to be ruthless with themselves first. Protect yourself. Then, and only then, can you decide who else deserves the shelter of your walls. You must confront the truth. Weakness is not a virtue. Weakness is an invitation. The moment you reveal fragility, others recalibrate their strategy. They see a breach in your defenses. They see a supply line unguarded. They see opportunity. And the world rewards those who exploit opportunity. Stop pretending otherwise. Stop hoping people will ignore your exposed flank out of kindness. On the battlefield, kindness is rare, and it is always temporary. If it appears at all, it is because it serves a purpose, not because it grows from some eternal spring of benevolence. Every act of apparent mercy is calculation in disguise. You are taught to believe that sacrifice elevates you, but observe the hierarchy around you. The ones elevated, the ones commanding, the ones untouched by the chaos, are not those who gave everything away. They are those who guarded their core, distributed aid strategically, and kept their power intact. The generals are not martyrs. The kings are not servants. The survivors are not those who bent until they broke. They are the ones who refused to be broken at all. And you, by choosing the mask of the selfless, chose invisibility, exhaustion, and subjugation. Machiavelli would tell you plainly, power respects power, not generosity. You can shower others with loyalty, with time, with energy, but if you lack the steel of authority, they will take and take until you have nothing left. Then they will discard you. This is the cost of your blindness. You thought generosity was a weapon. It was not. It was a white flag you raised before the battle even began. You surrendered before you fought. Why were you so blind? Because comfort seduced you. Illusions are comfortable. They let you believe in a moral order that does not exist. They let you believe that sacrifice guarantees reward. They let you believe that the battlefield is a community garden, where everyone waters the soil together. But look closely. It is not a garden. It is a contested terrain. And your idealism is not admired. It is exploited. You have been conditioned to confuse submission with virtue. That conditioning was deliberate. Those in power depend on it. If the majority can be trained to weaken themselves, the few can rule without resistance. Do not imagine this conditioning was accidental. Every system that demanded your obedience was crafted to make you pliable. Religion told you the meek shall inherit the earth, yet the meek inherit chains. While the strong take thrones, schools praised you for compliance, not strength. Workplaces rewarded you for overextension, not boundary. Families manipulated you with guilt, ensuring you felt duty-bound to sacrifice yourself endlessly. These are psychological operations, a soft war designed to mold you into a pawn. Pawns never protect themselves. Pawns are designed to die first. Contrast this with reality. In every era, in every empire, those who rose to power understood the law of fortification. They built walls before bridges. They trained soldiers before sending aid. They secured the treasury before distributing gifts, because they understood the simple law: without power secured, generosity is suicide. You ignored this law, and so you drained yourself dry, imagining nobility. While others built fortresses with the resources you surrendered, what has this blindness cost you? Look at your life. The fatigue in your body is the attrition of war waged without discipline. The resentment you feel is the bitterness of a commander who squandered troops on battles not his own. The emptiness you carry is the silence of allies who vanished once your usefulness expired. You mistook sacrifice for strategy, and now you live in defeat. This is not fate, it is consequence. And consequences cannot be reversed by wishful thinking. They can only be reversed by adopting the ruthless clarity you have resisted until now. Niccolò Machiavelli's mind was sharp because it was free from delusion. He stripped away illusions of morality, of fairness, of universal loyalty. He reduced politics to its bones: survival, strength, control. You must do the same with your life. Reduce it to strategy. Abandon the illusions that have shackled you. Stop pretending that people will value your suffering. Stop believing that bleeding proves your worth. Pain is not currency. Sacrifice is not strategy. What counts is position. What counts is leverage. What counts is power secured. From this moment, every choice you make must be measured as if you are commander of a besieged fortress. Your resources are your troops. Your energy is your supply line. Your boundaries are your walls. Your time is your ammunition. Do not spend them without calculation. Every request you accept, every favor you grant, every sacrifice you make must be interrogated with brutal clarity. Does this strengthen or weaken my position? If it weakens, you deny it. If it drains, you refuse it. If it exposes you, you seal the gates. Compassion without calculation is treason against yourself. Do not mistake this coldness for cruelty. It is discipline. Discipline is not optional on the battlefield. It is the difference between command and collapse. You cannot afford sentimentality in matters of survival. Sentimentality is the soldier who ignores reconnaissance because the enemy might not attack. Sentimentality is the commander who sends troops into the field because it feels noble. And sentimentality ends in slaughter. If you wish to endure, you must strip yourself of the softness that has weakened you. You must embrace the steel of strategy. You may ask, if I fortify myself, will I not become isolated? No. Fortification does not mean isolation. It means security. A strong fortress does not repel all entry. It controls entry. It dictates the terms of engagement. It decides who enters, how, and why. Isolation is weakness disguised as retreat. Fortification is strength, manifested as command. When you protect yourself first, you can engage the world without fear, without resentment, without depletion. But when you expose yourself in the name of serving others, you invite only betrayal. You must also abandon the illusion that helping others automatically elevates you. It does not. Aid is respected only when it comes from a place of undeniable power. Otherwise, it inspires contempt. Weak aid says, I give because I cannot say no. Strong aid says, I give because I choose, and because I can afford it. One earns gratitude that fades. The other earns loyalty that endures. The difference lies in whether you protected yourself first. Protect yourself, then choose when to give. Only then does your aid become an extension of power rather than a surrender of it. Understand this: every relationship you have is a negotiation of power, whether acknowledged or hidden. Every friend, every partner, every colleague, every family member, each interaction is a calculation of leverage. Supply, demand, and dependency. You have been blind because you thought relationships were sanctuaries free from this law. They are not. They are battlegrounds with softer language. And your failure to recognize this has cost you dearly. You gave without demanding return. You surrendered without resistance. You served without strategy. And now you wonder why you are depleted. The answer is brutal. You trained others to see you as expendable. From this day forward, you must train them differently. Show them boundaries they cannot breach. Show them strength they cannot ignore. Show them that your aid comes only when your fortress is secure, your supply lines full, your defenses intact. Then, when you give, it is felt as power, not as weakness. And that difference shifts everything. That difference is the line between being forgotten and being remembered, between being used and being feared, between being a pawn and being a commander. The consequences of remaining naive are no longer tolerable. If you continue as you are, you will live as a resource to be drained, a tool to be used, a soldier sent to die for causes, not your own. Your life will be consumed by endless campaigns fought for others, leaving you empty, bitter, forgotten. This is the cost of passivity. This is the tax of self-deception, and no one will rescue you from it. You must rescue yourself. You must reclaim command of your life's campaign, or accept permanent defeat. Machiavellian clarity leaves you no middle ground. Either you protect yourself first and rise into command, or you sacrifice yourself endlessly and vanish without trace. There is no third option. The world does not reward the in-between. It respects strength, and it consumes weakness. That is all. The choice is brutal, but it is simple. Protect yourself before protecting others, or remain what you have always been, a pawn moved by hands stronger than your own. You must strip yourself of excuses. You have told yourself that sacrifice made you noble, that giving made you good, that suffering somehow purified you. These are illusions fed to keep you docile. Nobility without strength is mockery. Goodness without defense is weakness. Purity without power is irrelevance. The battlefield does not decorate corpses. It buries them. And every time you chose to protect others while leaving yourself exposed, you dug your own shallow grave. Look at it without flinching. You chose weakness. And weakness chose your fate. Machiavelli understood what you resist admitting: to govern others, to command respect, to maintain influence. You must secure yourself first. A ruler who cannot defend his fortress cannot defend his people. A general who cannot feed his troops cannot win battles. A man who cannot guard his own life cannot save another's. Yet you tried to invert this law. You believed saving others would somehow protect you. You reversed the chain of command, and now you find yourself defeated, used, discarded, while those you protected stand unharmed or worse. They walk away without memory of your sacrifice. Because sacrifice is forgotten, power is remembered. Why do you cling to illusions that betray you? Because they comfort you in your weakness. They let you believe you are righteous when you are only exploited. They let you believe you are virtuous when you are only invisible. They let you believe you are needed when you are only used. You wear chains, but call them crowns. You endure betrayal, but call it love. You drain your life, but call it service. This is self-deception, and self-deception is the most dangerous enemy on the battlefield, because it rots you from within while you imagine you are unassailable. The truth is harsh. You have been expendable because you made yourself expendable. You positioned yourself as the soldier at the front line without armor. You positioned yourself as the servant whose loyalty costs nothing. You positioned yourself as the provider who never demands return. And once positioned, you cannot complain of the treatment you receive. You trained others to expect your weakness. You taught them you will never resist. You conditioned them to see your sacrifice as their right, and now you live in resentment, as though they betrayed you. But no, they only followed the strategy you wrote for them with your silence and submission. This is why you must learn the law of fortification. A fortress without walls is not noble. It is vulnerable. A soldier without armor is not selfless. He is unprepared. A ruler who bankrupts himself for others is not loved. He is overthrown. Protect yourself before protecting others. This is not selfishness. It is the first rule of strategy. Without walls, the city burns. Without supplies, the army starves. Without command, the troops scatter. Your life is no different. Guard it, or lose it. You tell yourself you cannot change because it feels cruel to say no. But cruelty is not the refusal. Cruelty is to drain yourself into ruin and then collapse, leaving those who depended on you with nothing. Discipline is not cruelty. Fortification is not selfishness. It is preparation. It is strength. It is survival. Niccolò Machiavelli would remind you, the man who cannot defend himself cannot defend his allies, and the man who cannot defend his allies will watch them fall, no matter how noble his intentions. Protect yourself first, or you protect no one. You must now turn your gaze to the unconscious forces that made you weak. You were shaped by fear, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being unloved. That fear taught you to overgive, to overserve, to over-sacrifice, hoping that by emptying yourself, you would buy security. But fear cannot be bargained with. It grows each time you feed it. Every time you gave away what you needed, the fear grew. Every time you tolerated disrespect, the fear grew. Every time you surrendered your ground, the fear grew. You are enslaved, not by others, but by your fear of losing them. And this fear is the leash by which they lead you. You must cut it, coldly, with steel. You must recognize that the threat of abandonment is nothing compared to the certainty of self-betrayal. Better to be alone and fortified than surrounded and used. Better to have few allies and strong walls than many allies and no defenses. Better to be feared and respected for your boundaries than loved superficially for your weakness. Because love built on weakness is not love, it is convenience. And convenience dies the moment you no longer serve it. Consider how armies move. They do not march blindly into foreign terrain without reconnaissance. They scout, they calculate, they assess risk. Yet you have let people into your life without reconnaissance, without calculation, without assessment. You let them consume your time, your energy, your loyalty, without questioning the cost. You gave access without strategy, and now your fortress is filled with spies, with thieves, with opportunists who learned the map of your defenses and left you exposed. Stop this foolishness. No general allows unchecked entry to his camp. No commander hands his battle plans to strangers. Neither should you. From this moment forward, you must apply reconnaissance to every interaction. Who is this person? What do they seek? What do they offer? What is their pattern of loyalty? How do they behave when denied? These are not cold questions. They are survival. If you fail to ask them, you will repeat the same cycle of depletion. But if you discipline yourself to measure every alliance, you shift from pawn to strategist. You stop reacting. You begin commanding. Machiavelli's warning is not a whisper. It is a command written in steel. Protect yourself first. Build your walls. Guard your supply lines. Discipline your troops. Command your terrain. Then, and only then, extend aid. Because aid without power is meaningless. But aid backed by strength is irresistible. It earns respect. It earns loyalty. It builds influence. And influence is the true currency of the battlefield. Influence is the silent army that moves without force. And influence is born only when you command yourself first. The consequences of ignoring this truth are absolute. If you continue to live as you have lived, you will be unknown, unrespected, and unremembered. Your sacrifices will vanish into the soil like unmarked graves. Your loyalty will be forgotten as soon as it is consumed. Your love will be mocked as weakness. Your kindness will be repaid with contempt. The world will not mourn you. It will replace you. That is the fate of those who protect others before themselves. That is the fate of pawns. That is the fate of martyrs. You can choose to continue walking toward it, or you can stop now. Sharpen your blade and fortify your position. Do not lie to yourself any longer. Do not dress weakness as virtue. Do not pretend suffering makes you noble. Admit the truth. You have lived as a pawn. Admit it without shame, but do not remain as one. A pawn can become more if it reaches the other side of the board, but to reach it, it must survive. And survival demands protection. Protect yourself before protecting others, or you will never cross the battlefield. You will fall where you stand, remembered by no one, replaced by another pawn who will repeat your mistake. This is your turning point. The strategy has been revealed. The illusions have been stripped. You are left with a choice, as stark as any battlefield order. Fortify or fall. Command or collapse. Protect yourself first, or perish protecting others who will never remember you. The war is already underway. Your position is already under siege. The only question is whether you will finally act with the cold clarity of a strategist, or die clinging to the illusions that have already destroyed you once. This is the moment where you must stop hesitating. You have been given clarity. You have seen your illusions exposed, your weaknesses dissected, your conditioning revealed. Now the question is simple. Will you continue to serve as a pawn, or will you take command of your campaign? Do not comfort yourself with indecision. Indecision is defeat disguised as delay. The battlefield does not wait for you to gather courage. While you hesitate, others advance. While you hope, others flank. While you dream, others sharpen their blades. Every second you remain unfortified, you bleed. The war does not pause out of respect for your confusion. It consumes you. Niccolò Machiavelli would strike this into your mind with cold precision. Protect yourself first. Not tomorrow. Not when it feels right. Not when you are ready. Now, because every day you delay, you confirm your weakness to those who watch you. And they are watching. Never doubt this. Every ally, every enemy, every supposed friend, they all test your perimeter, searching for entry points. They note when you yield too easily. They remember when you say yes under pressure. They exploit the cracks you refuse to seal. You are not ignored. You are studied. And the more predictable your weakness, the more inevitable your exploitation. So you must become unpredictable. You must become fortified. You must become untouchable. This requires discipline of the highest order. Discipline to say no when guilt screams yes. Discipline to guard your time as though it were gold. Discipline to sever ties that bleed you dry. Discipline to measure every alliance by cost and gain, not by sentiment. Discipline to value yourself, not as a servant, but as a commander whose resources are too valuable to be wasted. You must rebuild your posture until even your silence carries weight, until your boundaries are steel walls, until your presence signals power, not availability. Do not imagine this transformation is gentle. It is violent. It is the cutting away of illusions you cherished. It is the rejection of beliefs that once gave you comfort. It is the cold acceptance that many who surround you do not love you, they use you. It is the painful realization that your sacrifice did not make you holy, it made you expendable. But this violence is necessary, because only through destruction of the old can the fortress be rebuilt, and only through fortification can power be seized. Once fortified, your strategy must shift. Do not waste your strength, proving yourself to those who cannot recognize power. Reserve it. Conserve it. Expand it only when it consolidates your command. Aid others only when it strengthens your influence, reinforces your alliances, or increases your authority. Do not give blindly. Give strategically. Give like a ruler distributing resources to loyal provinces. Not like a beggar hoping for love. Every gift must expand your dominion. Every alliance must secure your position. Every move must be made with awareness of the battlefield. Otherwise, it is wasted. This is how power is sustained. This is how influence endures. Not through martyrdom, not through endless sacrifice. Through strategy, through self-protection, through cold calculation, through the refusal to bleed without purpose. You are not a saint. You are a commander. Stop pretending otherwise. Saints die forgotten. Commanders write history. And history remembers only those who refuse to be destroyed by illusions. You may resist this truth because it feels harsh. But harshness is the nature of reality. Look back at every defeat you suffered, every betrayal you endured, every exhaustion that left you broken. Were they not born of your refusal to protect yourself first? You sacrificed, and they forgot. You gave, and they demanded more. You bled, and they mocked your weakness. This pattern will not change unless you change it. And the change begins with ruthless self-preservation. Guard your fortress, protect your supply lines, discipline your troops, enforce your boundaries. Then, and only then, decide who is worthy of aid. This is how generals rule. This is how empires endure. Do not believe this path will make you unloved. It will make you respected. And respect is stronger than love. Respect endures when love dies. Respect commands loyalty when gratitude fades. Respect secures alliances when kindness is forgotten. Respect is the foundation of every enduring kingdom. And respect is born only when you protect yourself first. Machiavellian clarity teaches you this without apology. Love is fickle, but respect is durable. Build respect, not dependence. Command respect, not affection. Demand respect, not gratitude. Protect yourself, and respect follows. The war for your life is already in motion. You cannot withdraw from it. You can only choose your role within it. Remain the pawn, and you will be sacrificed again and again, until you are gone. Rise as the strategist, and use a command. But the strategist cannot emerge until you abandon illusions. Stop pretending sacrifice is strength. Stop pretending others will repay your loyalty. Stop pretending weakness will shield you. It will not. Only power shields you. Only fortification protects you. Only strategy sustains you. This is the uncompromising call to action. Choose now. Continue down the path of self-destruction, bleeding for others who will forget you. Or rise into command by protecting yourself first. Do not delay. Do not soften. Do not hope that somehow kindness will rewrite the laws of war. It never has. It never will. The laws are absolute. The unfortified are conquered. The unarmed are enslaved. The unguarded are destroyed. Protect yourself, or be destroyed protecting others. This is the final warning. Machiavelli spoke it centuries ago. Now it is spoken to you. The choice is yours.